Alright YouTube, what is going on? It is ConflctNerd Callum here today, bringing you another episode of my Transport Fever Let's Play Let's Connect Up the Grand Canyon. So as you can see here, we have a lot of issues to do with just capacity. You can see here that the buses which are going between Willow Creek and Boulder are totally full, and we have, at this bus stop alone, 107 people waiting on that route. So we definitely need to go ahead and change something, and it's pretty similar situation all round, to be honest. Because we sort of neglected these areas over the last few episodes, we just went ahead and built the lines, then we buggered off, and we built a lot of good projects, don't get me wrong, but we shouldn't have left all these routes for that period of time. So as you can see here, lots of people waiting in Boulder, lots of people waiting in Silverton, lots of people waiting in Castle Rock. This situation is pretty much the same in every single town. So we need to go ahead and, in this episode, we are not going to do too much building, we're just going to do some modifications of individual bus lines. We're also going to do some tram building though, I guess changing some bus lines to tram lines just to make it a little bit more efficient going forward. So where do we start? Very good question. What I think we're going to do is just look and see how we're doing first of all round on our profit margins. So the new air route which we created from Boulder to Arvada, that is in the negative, but I'm sure it will become positive because we only recently just built that. The Boulder airport bus is in the negative, but that's going to change, and then the boat situation I'm sure is sorting itself out, so I'm sure that'll be back to profit very shortly. So if we go ahead here, first of all what I want to do is go ahead and rename this airport. Actually, it's probably the least important thing I should do, but I want to name it Boulder Jackson Airport. And the reason for this is because I've been thinking, like, I've not really actually recorded, I've recorded a few episodes in a row, so I'll record like 2 or 3 episodes now, and then I'll go ahead and, I guess, stop playing it, and then when I need to record some more, so it'll probably be about a week until I record this again, unfortunately. One thing I'm going to do is get rid of that, because I don't like to see where I'm losing money, even though I know where I'm losing money. But I've had so much wonderful feedback, people saying go ahead and deploy trams, people saying going ahead and deploying a railway line, all this sort of stuff. So it does take me a few episodes to go ahead and implement that, usually because I do pre-records. But lots of people want me to build trams in and around Boulder Jackson, and that is what I'm going to do. A few people also suggested building a train line from Boulder to Willow Creek, and I would if I could, but it's just the terrain. The terrain, if we go ahead and look at a terrain map of this valley, it's just very difficult to go ahead and build a train station in. There is a possibility of doing a tram network, that could work in between them, but we'll explore that maybe at the end of this episode or the start of next. The reason I renamed this airport is because, again, someone suggested this area in general, because it's growing so much. For example, Boulder, 1,200 people, Jackson, 1,000 people, Silverton, 700 people, Willow Creek, over 1,400 people, then basically we need to go ahead, we'll have to have more than one airport in this region. That's what we're going to need to have. We're going to have an airport here. I can imagine Richardson to Jada's probably going to have a joint one, and maybe Silverton, Willow Creek, or Willow Creek, Castle Rock. The bottom line is we're going to need a few different airports, and that's the reason why I wanted to tuck this one into Boulder so close, was because I wanted this to be Boulder and Jackson's airport, and that's why I've renamed it to that. So with that explained and done, I want to go ahead and start off the modifications with the bus line we're losing money on. That bus line is the Boulder Airport bus, which I don't expect to make too much money, to be honest, because right now our air route it's getting there. It's actually already in the profit, which is good, but I mean the capacity wise, I think the 2 planes we have can only take 38 people, so it's not exactly that large amount of people, but the buses are going to come into much better use, because as we see here, people are starting to build houses along this road, which is not what I expected at first, especially beside an airport, but that seems to be happening now, and I'm totally for that. The reason that is happening is because of Boulder. It's just the way it is. It's in a valley, and you can see here that people are starting to build up the hills, but it's just not practical, and we're not going to see too much more building like this. What we are going to see is we're going to see people, I guess, building up and down the valley and on any flat land which is available, which this here is pretty much ideal flat land to build on. So all I want to do is go ahead and literally just make one small change. What we're going to do is add in a bus stop about halfway along. we're very quickly going to jump into Line Manager, scroll down here to the Boulder Airport bus. We're then going to go ahead and add a station after the transfer, and then we're going to add the station after Miller Street, so I guess it just stops at Lincoln Street as an extra stop on the route, and hopefully that will, I guess, grow Boulder beside Boulder Airport. So with that done, let's go ahead and get on to the first big project of the episode. So we have two main lines which are overcrowding. This is the Boulder to Jackson bus, which we have gone ahead and played around with in, I think it was episode 3 or 4, we messed around with the capacity of the route, but I just get the feeling we need to go ahead and do a different tactic, because this, like, the amount of people that use this road here, Jackson, as we know, has over 1,000 people. Part of this is Boulder. I don't really know where the cutoff is between Boulder and Jackson, but this street here, literally alone, must support like 1,500 people maybe. So all in all, we need to go ahead and have a really good and efficient transport route along it. So for that, I think we need to change the trams, and that's what we're going to do. And we're going to take the buses off that, and the buses we take off that, we're going to go ahead and apply onto the Boulder Willow Creek bus line, because as we know, that is also in need of, I guess, more capacity. So let's go ahead and start building trams, woohoo! Right, so we're going to start off by upgrading the two stations at either end. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade you to electric trams, and when you upgrade a station, actually it clears out the backlog of people, which is interesting. So right now that station is reset. If we jump all the way over to the other end and come to Jackson bus station, which no one uses, that'll also do the same. And I really don't understand why it does that. It removes a building, but it does that for some strange reason, even though the bus station isn't getting any bigger. But anyway, that's beside the point. How many people are on the Zeppelin? 37 people, so a fair amount of people. I also want to go ahead and add in an extra bus stop along this road as well. The reason is because of this street here. This street doesn't have very good coverage, because if we were to build a bus stop there, beside the current bus stop, right here, you can see that this street in the middle of the screen, it's not got good coverage from that bus stop. Similarly, if we jump over here and place a bus stop over beside this bus stop right here, it again's not got good coverage. So I want to go ahead and build a bus stop in here and just go ahead and add this onto the route. So we go ahead and find our Boulder Jackson, then we can go ahead and grab you and we can add in this extra bus stop. So what it's going to be is after Lee Street, bus stop 8, you're going to stop in there, and then after 13th Street, after bus stop number 12 it's going to be, you're going to stop there for 9 and 13, and that works out, so that addition was very easy. So now we need to go ahead and start upgrading the rest of the road to support the electric tram tracks. So for this we need to go ahead and I'm going to upgrade this to large street, because as I said, the amount of people that live on this road, which goes from Boulder through Jackson, is a lot, and right now it's only using a single lane road, so only 2 lanes. Going forward it's just going to need 4 lanes. Bottom line, it's going to need 4 lanes. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's grab electric tracks and let's grab our upgrade tool and let's get this started. So unfortunately construction is not possible at this intersection here, so I'll have to do that manually, but the rest of the road should be quite easy to upgrade. So we'll go ahead and do this here. We'll zoom out as well to make it a little bit easier on ourselves. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically upgrade the whole section which the bus route goes around, because I'm not actually going to create a new route. I'm just going to go ahead and put the trams out onto the bus route and then remove the buses. So with all that done, I think that's that full road upgraded. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to help myself out a little bit. I'm going to start to pull some buses already, just like maybe 4 of them or so, and then we'll have the trams rolled out very quickly, so there's not much need to worry. So that is on the Boulder Jackson. Those 4 buses are going to return to the depot, so there is going to be a lot of demand for movement on this route very quickly, but I mean there always is. I think we maybe actually cleared the backlog out as well when we went ahead and upgraded the road. Similarly, when we upgraded the station here, it cleared out the backlog, so that actually maybe buys me some time. So let's go ahead and delete this road and all the buildings surrounding it, just so we can go ahead and draw in this road there, which is totally fine. So I believe that is a tram track connecting Boulder bus station all the way to Jackson bus station. So now we need to go ahead and build ourselves a tram depot. So we jump in here to depots and tram depot, And I'm going to go ahead and build the tram depot right opposite the... And I don't know if this is a good idea, but I'm going to build it opposite the bus depot. Now, the good thing about this is that they're grouped together. The bad thing is maybe there's going to be a little bit of traffic when new trams and buses are getting deployed. But let's go ahead and see what trams we have available. So as this is a modded series, I picked up 2 modded trams, and this is the tram we're going to be using going forwards. So this here is the Sit Addis 302, capacity of 48, and that is, I think that's good enough anyway. Currently we're using these bendy buses here which have a capacity of 60 right now, and 60, 48 is pretty similar to be honest. So I believe we had 10 bendy buses at 60 capacity. That basically means that there was a capacity on the route of 600 seats. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to buy about 12 or 14 of these trams so we go over that 600 threshold. So let's go ahead and start buying these. Again, we're going to buy them in the dark green, keeping up with that traditional colour. So let's buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I bought a little bit more there. That cost me a lot of money as well, but it will be worth it at the end of the day. So now we can go ahead and assign all these trams onto the Boulder Jackson line. So off they go, and you can see them actually poking out the back, which is kind of funny. That looks like it is tram 2 there. So they're going to roll out, and they look really fancy actually. I really like the look of these, and hopefully they should go ahead and do it even better than the buses. They look really nice and modern actually, and I think they will fit really well into this Let's Play. So that is the bus here, which I'm going to go ahead and get to return into the depot just before it turned there. So I'm going to pull all the buses off now, and then we're going to go ahead and assign them elsewhere. So let's go ahead and get all you guys to return. It's going to cause quite a few traffic issues actually, just having all these buses returning. But once it's done, it will be better in the long term. Maybe in the short term it's just going to cause a little bit of tailback, I guess. So these trams are, that tram literally splitted in 2 there, which is kind of cool. But here comes the buses returning into the depot, and you guys are going to get assigned onto the Willow Creek line, because the Willow Creek is only using these smaller 40-seater capacity buses, which as we know is just not good enough. We jump up here to Willow Creek. Again, when we started the episode we're at these bus stops. You can see here that 102 people waiting at that bus stop, 110, 100 whatever people are waiting at that bus stop. So we need to go ahead and upgrade the buses from the 40 seats up to the 60-seater buses, the bendy buses. We've also got a lot of people waiting here, but it looks like the trams are starting to clear that deadlock out there as well. So let's go ahead and reassign you guys. You're going to get assigned onto the Boulder Willow Creek, so off you guys go. I'm going to have to do some recoloring in a second, and I will do that. So if we pull this line up here, all the vehicles should be a yellow. So that is those buses which are pulling out the depot now into yellow, which is good to see, and hopefully you'll go ahead and do wonders going forwards. What I am going to go ahead and do is take off some of this smaller, I'm not going to take them all off, but I think I'll take some of these smaller buses off anyway, the route, and over time we'll go ahead and I guess deploy even more bendy buses, just that extra capacity which is really needed on this route. So with that done, that is pretty much me actually wanting to do what I wanted to do from the very start of the episode. Took a while there, but that should be some extra capacity on those 2 routes, which are probably 2 of our most important routes actually in this Let's Play. So let's go ahead and look at how everything else is doing. So how's this bus doing? It's got 1 person on it, which is interesting. There's not really too much growth out here, to be honest. I'm a bit disappointed. I'm hoping going forward though there will be much more growth. There is 1 or 2 buildings popping up, to be honest, but not that many. How's the airport doing? It looks like a plane just left, to be honest, and all these people are about to come and wait at the bus stop. So I just want to see how many people wait at the bus stop, because that'll give me an accurate representation of, I guess, how many people were on the plane, because you've got no other mode of travelling around into town. So this bus is pulling in here with 10 people. It's going to drop off, I imagine, all of them. Maybe not though, but it does, and then it's going to pick up all these people which are waiting at the bus stop. Not quite, but it probably had, that plane probably had about 25 people on it all in all. So let's go ahead and actually look at the planes, and it's making about 4 million, and as we can see, both these are in the air, and they're doing not bad. They're half full, so there's definitely room for improvement on this route. So we'll leave that for now. It looks like right now the Boulder Jackson is making a loss, but that's because the trams are just getting started. Jumping down to the Boulder Airport bus, that is also losing money, but it'll make money eventually. And the boat situation, that is the next situation which I want to go ahead and deal with. So let's go ahead and jump over to the ferry terminal. So as you can see here, this is our ferry terminal in Jackson, and it has quite a lot of people. Well, I just picked up a load of people actually, but there's a lot of people coming down. Right now it's going to be a bit all over the place just because of the trams being a bit all over the place. People can't move around as easy. Looks like there's maybe an issue here. That tram is actually full, which is quite cool. And the trams are... Why are you wanting to go along there? You should not be wanting to go along there at all. You are... I guess you're maybe just running along to start at the Jackson end. That's probably what you're doing to start off with. So again, that route's now, I guess, in its initial stage, so it is going to be a bit all over the place. But as we can see here, we've got boats queuing up, and I want to go ahead and deal with this issue. As you can see, that's got 15 out of 15 people. You've got 15 out of 15 people. There's maybe another boat about to join the queue, so basically the loading speed isn't high enough on these boats, and also the capacity isn't either. At this end, we've got 30 people waiting, and if we jump up towards Ranch, I can guarantee you it's going to be a lot more. So again, the issue seems to be it's just loading speed. As we can see, there are the Zeppelin slowly but surely coming in here, and it's taking its time. Zeppelin has 35 people aboard it, and then we've also got these other two boats waiting to dock, but it's just not practical. So I went ahead and looked in the workshop in between this and the last episode, and I found a boat which, when I was originally looking for mods, I wasn't necessarily planning on building boats, so I thought, you know what, there's no point looking at them. But I found this here. This is the perfect compromise, the jet foil. So right now we're mainly using these hovercraft here, which have a capacity of 15, loading speed of 5 and a top speed of 58 miles per hour. Then we went ahead and we deployed one Zeppelin because there was just a bit of backlog, and the Zeppelin was basically there to go ahead and, I guess, sort of clear that backlog, but it doesn't really work in twine with the hovercraft. It's got a much larger capacity, but it's got a much lower speeds. The hovercraft has a speed of 58, whereas the Zeppelin only 16 miles per hour. So we have the jet foil here, which is literally the perfect compromise. Loading speed of 75, which is the same as the Zeppelin. It's got a top speed of 51 miles per hour, which is a few slower than the hovercraft, but still not that bad. It's also then got a capacity of 60, which is much greater than the hovercraft. So we're going to go ahead and deploy these boats, these jet foils, onto this route going forwards. So what I'm going to do is buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of you guys, and you're going to go ahead and get assigned onto this boat line. So as all you guys go out, I'm going to get you guys to go out first. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to return all the other Zeppelins and the other hovercraft. I just want to get these boats in action first. As we can see, the frequency is up to 36 seconds, which is way too high for this route. But these boats are slowly pulling out, and they should pick up quite a bit of speed actually if they can go like 56 or whatever it is miles per hour. So as you can see, that one is, and it's going to get in front of the Zeppelin, it looks like, which is in the distance. As you can see, the Zeppelin has 79 people on it, which is, I guess, just clearing that backlog. So what I'm now going to go ahead and do is start to pull in some of these other boats. So the Zeppelin is probably going to be the first one because it's going to take so long to return to the depot. But as it is driving past, it might as well go ahead and jump into the depot. Again, we'll just start to pull off some of these hovercraft. We'll leave some of them on there for the time being, but it's just good to get some of you guys started. So with that done, hopefully all the buses should now be off the Boulder Jackson route. So if we return here, looks like we've got a lot of people waiting, but it doesn't really... It kind of does convey actually that it is on this route here, the Boulder Jackson, but as time goes on, hopefully things should clear up. I'm hoping. I really hope, because I've never really got trams to work too well. We can possibly go ahead and add in more trams actually, because there's definitely room for more trams to go on this route. The next tram is not, I can't even see the next tram coming along back into Boulder here. But looking at this bus station here, we need to go ahead and start selling some of these buses. So we're going to sell the smaller ones. We're then going to go ahead and assign all the bigger ones onto the Boulder Willow Creek line, which hopefully should now have a larger capacity. Hopefully there's not as many people waiting at the bus stops up here, which unfortunately there actually is, even more than previously. So it will work, don't worry, all this will work, I just need a little bit more time to make it work. So we're going to go ahead and actually just turn the game on to ×2, so I guess everything can move at that little bit faster. The unfortunate thing is about this bus station is that if we go ahead and look at my line master, every single bus, or they're all using 2 lanes, but I want you to use all 4 lanes, and that is just stupid. The purpose of me going ahead and buying this was to just use all 4 lanes. Why would I just want to use 2 lanes? That is just so silly. So I'll go ahead and I guess look at whoever created this mod and see if they've got a patch for that or something, because that's going to cause quite a lot of traffic issues going forward. Anyway, let's go ahead and pull off, I guess, the remainder smaller buses which are on the Boulder Willow Creek line. So let's go ahead and jump into line manager. We need to go ahead and find the Boulder Willow Creek, and we just need to go ahead and take all of these small remaining buses off. So you guys will return to the depot, again causing a bit of traffic issues, but hopefully won't be too bad. And is that all the smaller buses off? There's another smaller bus there and another smaller bus there, but I think that is all good. Right, so I've let the game run a bit, basically just waiting for all the buses to return, sort of all the trams to get going, and I'm starting to notice something which I think we're going to have to go ahead and deal with, and it's, we're going to have to create a Boulder Connect. Boulder's just grown so much that it needs its own, I guess, route going around the town, which I think is what we're going to have to deploy at some stage. So, we will do that, not just yet though. I just want to go over some of the changes I did off camera. So it's good to see that there is more building being built out by the airport, which is good. If I do go ahead and check though the air route, we can see that one of the planes was full, one of the planes is full, so we might need to go ahead and add in another plane. It looks like going out to Arvada isn't that busy, so I guess we need to go ahead and check out the other airport actually. So we jump all the way out here. Richardson definitely needs some work actually. We can see there's quite a few people waiting here, 22 people waiting, so it's looking like a lot of people want to leave Arvada and a lot of people want to make their way to Boulder, which is good. So what I think I'm going to do is buy an extra aircraft, and it was the Airbus which we went ahead and bought before. So we're going to go ahead and assign this on to the Air Boulder Nevada route. So that should just help out, I guess, clear a bit of backlog at this end, and hopefully going forwards will make the route more profitable. I also went ahead and changed up all the boats. So it looks like there isn't much, or as much as a boat queue anymore, which is good. I don't maybe think I need as many as 8 boats actually. If we jump down to the boats, boats are an extremely good profit, but I just get the feeling 8's maybe too much, because not one of these is full at all. They are carrying much more than 15 passengers, which is good, but they're not really full at 60, so in future I might take maybe 2 boats off that route. Anyway, game saves just caused this game to absolute shit itself, but it looks like in general, going through Jackson now, I wouldn't say there is as many people waiting as there was at one stage anyway. So with all that done, we need to go ahead and... This station's really annoying me. It's all these buses and trains that are backing up just because of the fact that we're only using 2 lanes in this station, which that is just so frustrating. Like, why will it not allow me to go ahead and use all 4 lanes of this station? It's only letting me use 2, which is just so stupid. So anyway, we're going to jump out of here and we're going to make our way over to Richardson, because Richardson has a lot of people waiting. It looks like the Richardson buses probably just need to get upgraded. Looking at every single bus stop and every single... it just all needs upgraded, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do. So to start with, looking at that bus line, we have the Boulder Richardson. It's making a lot of money, the frequency isn't high enough, and the buses aren't good enough. That's the bottom line. So we're going to go ahead and buy more buses and I guess solve that issue today. So we're going to jump back over here to the bus depot. We've got all these smaller buses which we're just going to go ahead and get rid of going forwards. Like so. That should generate us a little bit of money and help us out with buying some more of these, I guess, city buses. Going forward actually, What do I want? Do I want to go ahead and use them? Are those the biggest and the best? Or do I want to go ahead and maybe use something like these coaches? So these coaches all have a capacity of 48. What about this Mercedes-Benz bus? That is pretty awful, to be honest, and that wheel car doesn't really work. So the bendy bus is the best. What's the top speed of these coaches though? These coaches can go at a much faster rate, and I think what I'm going to do is going to start off by buying some of these Intercity 2 buses. I think these are the future for this route. So I'm going to go ahead and buy so many of these, and I'm talking like maybe 20 of these or so. Probably about that much, no idea how many that is, and we're going to go ahead and set all you guys onto it, and I need to get this right, the Boulder to Richardson line. So that is you guys all set out, and again we're basically just replacing buses here with a better capacity. What I'm going to do with these smaller buses is start to return these, because these buses are one slow and they've also got a slightly smaller capacity. So I'm going to get these to return to the depot. Again, this is going to have to happen in stages, just because it is quite a lot we've gone ahead and recalled there. So that is going to cause a lot of confusion on that line for a while, but going forwards, again, it should be much more efficient. I'm starting to get the feeling that this bus station has maybe just got too many routes at it. I believe it has 5 different routes at it, and if I go ahead and add in a connect, it would have even more. So what I'm thinking about doing, and I think we're going to do that now actually, is we're going to go ahead and create a second station at the other end of town. We're going to create this station up here, so we're going to go ahead and first of all create a connection like that there. Maybe not actually, we'll maybe downgrade that to just a medium street, just to make that look a little better. So what we'll do is we'll have the station at the top end of the town, so the bus from Willow Creek coming in, you will go ahead and you will, I guess, get off here. I need to remove that tram track actually, I forgot I still had that on. So let's go ahead and upgrade the section again, like so. So the bus coming in from Willow Creek and the bus coming in from Silverton, you'll come into this station here, and this is where the connects will definitely come into play. So we need to start off with a bus station, and again it's going to be the same bus station we've been using, this larger bus station here. So this large bus, sorry, this one here. And it's going to go at this junction at the top of the town here, like so. It's going to go into the hillside here, and I think this is quite a good location for it. So what we're going to do is, we're going to have to reroute some of the buses. Before I do that though, I want to go ahead and build a connect, which connects up this bus station here to the other bus station down the bottom of the town here. So the question is, how is the connects going to work? Now my connects haven't been very successful, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do, I guess, 2 separate connects lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to deploy them as trams as well, so we're going to do a lot of upgrading here. We're going to do an east line and a west line, both starting at the top here and ending at the bottom, but just going through the town a little bit differently. So we'll start with Large Street, because that's what all these are going to support. We're going to go for Tram Track Electric, and we're going to get this underway. We'll start off with this left side of town. I'll probably call this the east side of town, but it's really the left side of town. So it's going to come up this hill here, that's what I want it to do. Then it's going to run along here, run along there, and it's just probably going to make its way up through the hills here, I guess you could say. So along this route here, coming down, and then it's going to join up, I guess, with the Richardson line, and then it's just going to come over this bridge here. Now, it doesn't look like it can build on this bridge, which is frustrating. So I managed to go ahead and create this road here, which wasn't perfect, but it will do, and that connects into this bus station here. So I'm guessing that what I'm going to do to, I guess, remove confusion, we're going to call this Boulder Lower, and then I'll name the other one Boulder Upper. So now there's a direct connection between Boulder Lower and Boulder Upper via, I guess, the east and the left of the town. So I think naming this Upper and Lower would just make more sense. One's further up the hill, one's down by the bay, and it's just going to cause less confusion going forwards. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this episode up here, so I hope you have enjoyed it. I know I'm leaving it on a bit of a cliffhanger, and there's so much to do. There is so much to do. We need to go ahead and sort the trams out in this town properly, and we also need to go ahead and get our railway line up and going as well going forward. Anyway, that is all for this episode, so hope you have enjoyed it. Please leave a like, rating, and subscribe if you are new around here. My name is ConflctNerd Callum, and I'm out.